Hello YouTubers, this is Merrix here. We have a new video game review for you this morning. I wonder what it should be. This will actually be a game that I have actually never played before. I played the first two, and I picked up the third one a couple weeks ago. It is called Uncharted 3, as it says up there in the description. Or description's down there, but in the title. Below is also going to say, thank you for watching, enjoy, whatever, whatever. Just bear with me here while I describe this game. Okay, you play as Nathan Drake, a treasure hunter who is going on basically a personal journey about his ancestor, I guess, but it turns out it's not because his real name isn't Drake, but okay. Anyway, the first sequence is basically a fist fight throughout the game. So we were fighting off against Russians, I believe, or Englishmen. I don't know. I'm saying Russians, but anyway, there's many sequences of going into like if you watch National Treasure with Nicolas Cage, it's basically find a clue that leads to another clue that leads to another clue that eventually leads to a treasure. But if you're good enough with the clues, there you go. That's basically how this game is. You play the game enough, you'll eventually get to the end. It's not as boring as National Treasure. I like National Treasure, both of them. And I heard they might make a third one, which I'm excited about. I like treasure hunting movies, which explains why I like Indiana Jones. I like the original three. The newest one, not so much. Because it was like, I was interested at first because I saw it in theaters. It's like, oh, it's pretty cool. And then it gets to where it's talking about aliens. I'm like, okay, really? But I understand because the first freaking movie was that way. I think the first one was it was about the Lost Ark of the Covenant, I believe. I don't know. I don't know the specific order. But back to the game. Sorry, I trailed off there into treasure hunting movies. Story is you're playing as Nathan Drake. He's trying to find all this stuff about his ancestor. And turns out that he eventually does find it, of course. It wasn't a certain item. It was a certain city. Not the City of Gold, which I think was in one of the first two. If not, comment below and tell me which one was the first or second one. But the game came out a while back, so I can spoil it right now. It's been out for almost a year, so yeah, I can go ahead and spoil it. When they get to this city, Drake drinks water from little area there because he went through a desert. You need water when you go through a desert. And when he drinks the water, he goes into a hallucinative state to where he's seeing like these fire demons or something like that. And it takes a ton of shots. There's one sequence when you're in this little area and these guys are going to take you down. To do all that, everything. Sorry. And then turns out he was hallucinating the entire thing. It wasn't real. He was saying through the whole gameplay, they aren't real. They're not real. Turns out they're not. And right before that, he watches Sully get shot in the back, which still doesn't happen. Alright, the end of the game, it turns out the woman was looking for something. Drake shoots 3 shots from some kind of hand cannon, I guess, and brings down the entire freaking city. Okay, it's a little overdoing it, but it was cool. And you finally get your exact your revenge and kill the 2 people that were causing trouble the entire time. Alright, let's talk about gameplay here. It is a platforming third-person shooter. You can call it a third-person shooter. I originally didn't, but I knew it was a third-person shooter. When I consider third-person shooters is mission-to-mission style of thing. Mass Effect can be that. Saints Row, all that. And Uncharted 3. 1, 2, and 3. I played them out of order. I played 2, 1, 3. I played the second one first, then, yeah, order. Yeah. I can't say too much. The gameplay, the gunplay, pretty good. You get a couple pistols, a couple assault rifles, but as you pick them up, most of the stuff you start off is basically just uh, you pretty much with the pistol. The first sequence you have a silenced pistol, which you can't get any ammo for. Mostly you're fighting people with your fists, but yeah, it's pretty good gunplay. The platforming is amazing. There are many sequences of where you need to be fast. You have to jump to this place, jump to that place, avoid this, avoid that. You know, you have to be quick about it because you're doing treasure hunting. You're not like in Assassin's Creed where you can stay in one spot for like 5 or 10 minutes waiting for someone to come around and you can just stab them. This game you have to be quick about it. My most memorable sequence was the tower burning down, and you have to rush out of the tower, and stuff like that. It was amazing. I'll let y'all play the game to see all the sequences that's actually like that. Uh, that's all I can pretty much talk about. Mainly all the characters come back. Drake, Sully, Chloe, Elena. I don't know if Cutter was in the other ones or not, but he's in this one. Which basically after you break away from Chloe and Cutter, after Cutter breaks his leg, you don't see him again. You go meet Elena at this airfield, and pretty much you don't see Chloe and Cutter anymore. It turns... I'm not going to spoil the ending. I can, but I'm not going to. But the game is very good for a third-person shooter and platforming. The platforming part is a lot like Assassin's Creed, but at a much bigger scale. Because you have to either constantly do it or whatever, and you can also shoot guns. Like, if he's on a ledge, like this, vertical ledge, and he has to pull his gun, he starts shooting, and the only way he can reload is dropping it out and using like the arm that he was holding on to with in order to reload his clip. Tiny stuff like that impresses me. If it sounds like I have a cold, I don't. I'm yawning constantly. So I apologize that ahead of time. But, alright, there's no bad thing about it. There's not a single bad thing about the game. I could complain about that whole facing off against like demon-looking things, but I can't at the same sense because you're not facing demons, you're facing hallucinations. And it turns out he wasn't doing all this. Yes, you can die during the hallucinations because it's a hallucination. But I'm not complaining about that. But everything about the game, awesome. No complete problems with it at all. The game, like I said, if a game has no problem with me, it's going to get a high score. Mass Effect 3, I didn't have hardly any problems with it, other than the ending. But then they redeemed themselves with it by bringing out the extended cut. Then they added more missions and stuff like that. So this game's going to get a 5 out of 5, hands down. No big problems. I love the game. I'll definitely play it many more times. That's pretty much it. You can't give it any higher score than a 5 out of 5. You can give it a 10 out of 10, but that's the same freaking thing. Like I've said in my past videos, I cannot fathom why people do 1 through 5, but then they add the points in there, or 1 out of 10 and add the points in there. I understand if you want to do a 9.5, but I've seen people do 9.7. Can you not just give it a 10? Is there really absolutely no problem with the game that you cannot give it a 10? Okay. Comment below on what you think about the video. Next week there will be another one, probably redoing Infamous 2 or God of War 3, depending on what game I beat first. I played Infamous 2 before. I played God of War 2 before, or 3 before. But I've never reviewed God of War 3. I've reviewed Infamous 2. Anyway. Also coming next week is an unboxing video. There's mini games coming out on the 30th. Assassin's Creed 3, WWE 13. There's many other games coming out next week. I have a magazine that shows how many games are coming out, and there's like 10 plus. So look at what games come out next week on the 30th, and you tell me which one I'm going to be getting. I'm sure that there are a few people that actually do know, but I think there's only like one that actually watch my page more than once a month or something. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching this video. Yes, because there's no ending at the end, because I can go ahead and just thank you all for watching at the end anyway. Alright, thanks for watching. This is Delta Merrix, signing out.